The EU wants to buy more weapons, but there are a lot of people that are not happy. But I also believe this plan of Ursula von der Leyen will not achieve this. And because people want peace, last week the capital of Italy was flooded with people protesting against rearmament and asking for peace. Also, one of my heroes, Jeffrey Sachs, did a cool appearance there.
Let me save you 800 billion euros. You don't need the military, you need to sit and negotiate. Sit and talk, it's free.
And I agree, we might need defense, but what we really need is to invest more in diplomacy.
Fidias, I saw your video about the rearm Europe, and I wanted to tell you that you're wrong. The person that you call an hero is actually an enemy of democracy. What you call a great protest was actually a crowd of confused and scared people. Yes, the streets of Rome were full that day, but I was there, and I know the Italian politician, I know the Italian ruling class. And in today's video, I'll show you why I think this way. So first of all, let's talk about who organized this protest. The 5-Star Movement is an anti-establishment and populist leftist party founded by a comedian, so not exactly a strong start, but is now led by Giuseppe Conte, former Prime Minister of Italy and currently in the opposition against the rearm Europe. And by interviewing his little buddy from another party, Bonelli, from the Greens, and the voters of the 5-Star Movement, you can clearly see both the strengths and the weakness of populism used by Conte, and by Fidias as well. The strength because he's able to gather a lot of people, because it responds to what people actually want. But at the same time, it's weak for two reasons. One, a populist party loses its mind trying to please everyone. It no longer has a stable vision on the problems or how to solve them, and it ends up confusing voters and playing on their fears, without offering valid alternative solutions.
Scusi, cosa direbbe a un cittadino ucraino che chiede più supporto militare da parte dell'Europa?
Dico al cittadino ucraino che sono morti tanti ucraini sino ad oggi, tanti ucraini, e che è giunto il momento di fermarsi e di avviare negoziazioni, perché le armi portano
Negoziazioni con un dittatore che non vuole negoziare.
La negoziazione va fatta con grande determinazione, quella che non è stata fatta sino ad oggi.
Perfetto. Ha un'idea su come negoziare con Putin?
Se fossi Presidente del Consiglio lo direi, ma non lo sono.
Certo. Grazie, prego.
And even if everyone was there for the same cause, sometimes people don't know what's better for them. The situation is complex, and most people don't have time to be properly informed. Properly informed. I'm sorry, guys. So they don't know that what sounds good isn't always the right thing to do. So when you say that Rome was full of people against the rearm Europe, be careful, because many of them misunderstood and others didn't even know why they were there.
Quindi secondo voi è inutile spendere il 2% del PIL nella difesa? Se si spendono per fare ricerca in ambito militare, anche come deterrenza, eventualmente magari facendo un accordo a livello europeo sulle cose necessarie che veramente possono servire per attuare una strategia di deterrenza, questo potrebbe anche andare bene.
They were some of who were truly aligned with the 5-Star Movement for that protest. But if you think about it, they were the most worrying ones, because Conte's narrative on that and that of the 5-Star Movement is worrying, because it's part of something much bigger, on a global level. A big conspiracy that sees America as a dictatorship, that sees the export of democracy as a problem, that sees Europe as trash to be thrown away and the Western system as a broken and in need for replacement.
Secondo lei come possiamo assicurare la sicurezza dell'Europa senza investire un po' di più nella difesa?
La sicurezza dell'Europa passa attraverso il dialogo e non attraverso la speranza che la profezia si autoavveri. Possiamo parlare che c'è lo spauracchio russo, quando la Russia ha aspettato ben 8 anni, in maniera inascoltata, che l'Occidente rispondesse a delle tranquillissime richieste di neutralità dell'Ucraina, paese che tra l'altro ha avuto un governo nazista.
Anche noi.
Esatto.
Quindi noi non possiamo essere indipendenti perché abbiamo avuto un governo nazista.
Noi siamo indipendenti dal 1945.
It's just like Jeffrey Sachs and Marco Travaglio, Russian propaganda. And I think that you Fidias, you also believe in this narrative. Because as you said, you don't know shit about politics. And what are conspiracy theories if not oversimplified explanation for complex problems, perfectly suited for those who aren't experts? The problem is when it's not just the people in the streets who believe in them, but when those who have the power to influence masses. That's the big issue. Because we're not talking about opinions anymore. We know that Russians and Ukrainians have different origins and histories. We know that Putin wants a puppet government for Ukraine and Georgia, like he already did with Belarus. We know that for him, Ukrainians don't exist and they are actually part of an ancient Russian race that unites all Eastern European countries. We know he was behind the election in Romania. We know he didn't recognize the only president in favor of a sovereign Ukraine. We know he blamed the Americans for the Nord Stream 2 bombing. We know that the NATO encirclement was just an excuse, and he himself debunked the lie. We see him carrying out military exercise near NATO's borders. We are seeing him bomb all the Ukrainians, and not just the Donbass. We are seeing Ukrainians' children crushed, family destroyed, and all the horrible stuff that happened with war. And we, with rearm Europe, we are not talking about continuing to suck up to the Americans. We are not talking about sending European citizens to war. We are making sure that in an era where more and more dictators are going unnoticed, Europe stands firm, loyal to its democratic values and roots. So, let me leave you with this quote. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Ciao.
Europe is lost. And before our forces are wiped out completely, now is the time to negotiate in order to obtain the best conditions possible. Hitler will not insist on outrageous terms. He will know his own weaknesses. He will be reasonable.
When will the lesson be learned? When will the lesson be learned? How many more dictators must be wooed, appeased, good God, given him mixed privileges, before we learn? You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
The man who in 1940 had said that he had nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat, has paid his part of the bargain.
Out of the depths of sorrow and of sacrifice will be born again the glory of mankind.
If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.